Okay, guys, nutrition. Probably the biggest struggle for me personally, but it's so important to your journey that it's like 80% of your results. You could be someone who doesn't work out a day in your life, but if you're eating properly, you can lose weight and even maintain. But something that we use to help us in this department are our portion control containers. Let me show them to you. So this is what they look like. There's purple for fruit, green for veggies, red for proteins, yellows for carbohydrates, blue for healthy fats, and orange is for dressings and seeds, and like nut butters and stuff like that. So these are our portion control containers. Now, the great thing about these is that they work as measuring cups. You don't necessarily have to carry around these little things with you all day long and have all your food packed in them. But the purpose of them is just to measure out a proper portion. So when you're doing your meal prep and you're getting all of your food together, you can simply pack these with the food, measure them, dump them into a to-go container, or I have some really awesome containers that I can actually put different food groups in. I can share those with you as well. And you're done. You're on the go. So they're dishwasher safe, very easy to clean. If you have little kids, you'll probably find that they like to play with them. But the purpose of these are for you to stay on track. Make sure that you are eating the right foods and the right amount of foods. Now, you will find in your program that you've picked, every single program has its own meal plan, and a lot of them, if not all of them, correlate with the 21-day portion fix is what it's called. So you can just go right into Beachbody On Demand, select your program, and then go under program materials, and there you will find your meal plan. I'll just use this one as an example because I have it right in front of me. It's the one that I'm going to be doing. This is the Transform 20 Nutrition Guide. Now, every program has a meal plan, and every meal plan is going to have a correlated equation or something like that for you to pick out what plan you're going to be in and how many containers you need to eat for that specific program. Now, the reason why it's so important to make sure that you pick the right plan for the program that you're doing is because every fitness program is different. So if you're weight training, you might need more protein. If you're doing a lower intense, you might not need as much. So it just depends on what fitness program you are doing, and you want to make sure that you're matching up with the right meal plan. Now, I will say this, there is a nutrition-based program called To Be Mindset that is its own program all by itself, and you can often use that as just your baseline nutrition plan all year long, no matter what you're doing. If you would choose to do that, I would just again check how many containers you're going to need for the program that you're on, and you can adjust it that way. So depending on what your starting weight is, what your goals are, and things like that, it will break it down for how many calories you're going to need. But don't get overwhelmed because we do not count calories with portion fix, okay? We simply, for instance, for an example, for Transform 20, I'm in Plan A because for women who weigh 168 pounds or less are automatically going to be in Plan A. I'm going to have 3 veggies, 2 purples, 4 proteins, 2 carbohydrates, 1 healthy fat, 1 seeds and dressings, and 2 teaspoons of nut butters. Now, what I suggest is getting a notebook and doing what I did for my very first program. I wrote every single thing out. And it really all just depends on what you prefer, how your brain works, and what is going to work best in your schedule, because we're all busy. Sometimes Now I've been off work for 2 weeks. I've been able to cook eggs every single morning. This past week, it's been great. But I know come tomorrow when I'm going back to work, I'm probably not going to have the time to cook fresh eggs. So, this is a great opportunity for you to design your meal plan, how it's going to best fit you, but still get all the nutrients that you need. So, something that I suggest, I said, is writing it all out ahead of time so that you know what you're going to have prepared and ready to go. Some suggestions are just cutting up some healthy snacks. If you like raw veggies, cut them up, portion them out, put them in a baggie, and have healthy snacks on the go in the fridge ready to go. You can cook up to like 3 or 4 days worth of meals and they stay good in the refrigerator. You just have to pop it in the oven to warm it up or in the microwave and it's ready to go. I would suggest meal planning meal prepping rather once or twice a week, depending on what works for your schedule. That way you don't feel like you have to be in the kitchen all the time prepping your next meal, because this honestly saves time and energy. I think when people think of meal prepping, they think, oh my gosh, I have to spend hours in the kitchen. I don't know what to do. And honestly, if you take an hour or two out of 1 or 2 days a week, you are going to have all your meals planned for the rest of the week. And it is going to save you time when you're trying to cook those meals later on. Okay, if that makes sense. Another suggestion that you could do, which was shared to me by my coach, and I find it very useful, is doing the same containers at every single meal for every single day and just switching out the food. So for instance, if you know you have to have 3 green, red, and purple, you know you have to have 3 of these a day, then you can plan out this group 3 times a day. Breakfast, you're going to have each one of these containers. Lunch, you're going to have each one of these containers. Dinner, you're going to have each one of these containers. And you just switch up what's in the food. For instance, for breakfast, you could do something that I loved was hard-boiled eggs. I always prepped my veggies. I cooked them ahead of time. And then I would have an apple or a half a banana or a cup of strawberries, any fruit that you want. For lunch, you could do ground turkey with sauce and zoodles, or that sounds more like dinner, but you get the drift. All you have to do is change out the food of what your container is, but keep the containers the same consistently throughout each meal. And then I also will just say one more thing about Portion Fix. Not all food is the same from program to program. For example, on Shift Shop, spaghetti squash, which you think would be a veggie, is actually counted as a carb. And I didn't know that until I was already in. So it's important to go through the list and make sure that you know what foods belong in what food groups so that you don't have any mix-ups and you think, oh, that's a veggie or a fruit, but really it's a carb or a fat or something like that. So it's important to make sure that you just read your meal plan front to back. Write down a meal plan, figure out what's going to work best for you, and if you really just feel overwhelmed, take a step back because this is really supposed to simplify your life and make it much easier. Pinterest is our best friend as Beachbody people. We are always looking for new recipes or maybe a quick visual that will work really well, and you can find those on Pinterest as well. So I hope this was helpful and not too overwhelming. Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you.